What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I hope you like this video. This is your review for Belle Collective season 3 episode 1. So we are back, you guys, for another season of the Belle Collective. And y'all know how these shows go, so we're just getting caught up with everybody. So I'm just gonna go character by character and let y'all know what they got going on and what all the storylines are, right? So we start off with Latrice Rogers. You know, she is owner of the Goddess Hair company, and we know that her and her husband, who is an older guy, he's older than her, she calls him Zaddy. Now I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I've been saying since season 1, in my opinion, I'm nobody's therapist and I ain't counseling or diagnosing, but I do feel like there's a whole daddy complex that she has as it relates to her husband. I'm not saying she don't love him, I'm not saying none of that. I'm just saying that there's a reason why she was attracted to him and why she calls that man Zaddy, okay? Now, she does not want children. We've had this conversation about her and her children not wanting to have kids, as far as she's like, listen, I don't know if I'll be a good mama. I don't want to lose my shape. I don't want to lose my figure. You know, all of the different things that a lot of women may not admit to, but they all have these concerns. Well, not all, but a lot of women have these concerns, right? And of course, Zaddy want kids. Now, Zaddy got grandkids, but Zaddy want kids, okay? With Latrice, which that's a whole nother conversation as well. So we find out that Latrice has bought a commercial property to expand her business. We know at the end of last season she was looking for a property with Gucci, who is a real estate agent. We'll get back to that in a minute. Also, we know that Jackson had this water crisis going on during the time that they were filming, and so she allowed her store manager / friend to come and stay with her. Now, a lot of people are going to have a lot of opinions, but I'm going to say this off the break about, what's his name, Jazzy? Jazzy is disrespectful towards Cliff, her husband, Zaddy. And he's honestly speaking out of turn. You know, you are a guest in somebody else's home. Even though you may not like everything that you see that's going on, Joshy, that's his name. Even though you may not like everything that you see, and you may have an opinion, but what you don't get to do is disrespect that man in his own home. Now, however, I don't even blame Joshy. You know who I blame? I blame Latrice, because what Latrice has done is Latrice has smeared the lines between employee and friend, and what she has also done is she has talked ish about her marriage and about Cliff to this person, and now they have an opinion. Now, are they still wrong for saying it? Yes, and because he was rude. I mean, he really was rude. You stand in somebody else's house who's doing you a favor. And so, no, you don't get to just, and he was like, well, that's my friend, and I hate to see my friend, you're not happy, and this, and this, and that's valid. We have all been there and done that. We have all had a friend that insists on being in a relationship that we don't think is healthy. We have all had that friend that tell us all the bad things, never tell us the good things, and then want to look at us sideways when we don't like who they with. You know what I mean? It happens. But again, he's wrong, and he's overstepping his bounds. But again, that's on Latrice. And even later on in the episode, Latrice tries to call herself putting her foot down. But number one, it's too late. Like, you can't put, that's one of those things, you done took the genie out of the bottle. At this point, you're going to have to choose a relationship. Either he's going to be your friend or he's going to be your employee. And if he's your employee, then you need to be very clear about the boundaries. And you're going to have to put those boundaries in place, because Joshy can't handle it. See, there's some people that can be friends and employees, and they can keep those lines separate and not overstep those lines, but Joshy clearly cannot. We also found out that Latrice and Zaddy are not sharing a room. They're not, they're just not in a good space as far as that's concerned. Now, last season, she went and stayed with her brother for a couple of weeks, right? Now she done moved into a different room in the house. So, you know, Joshy's concerns may very well be valid, but again, the way he chooses to express those concerns is a problem. And we saw him go and have like a little heart-to-heart with Latrice, and he was honest and said, listen, you're not happy, you're my friend, and I don't like seeing you like this, and so yes, I'm very defensive, yes, I'm going to speak up, you know, because this is how I feel about my friend. So that's what's going on with Latrice. A few other things, and we'll get to that in a minute. Then we catch up with Leticia. Now, Leticia was the head of this little group season 1. The show has sort of evolved into more of an ensemble cast, but we know her and Glenn have been having their issues. Now, the first thing I noticed is, Latrice, girl, you still looking good. You look like you still dropping that weight, honey. You look good, okay? She went to go pick her son up. Her and Glenn are separated again. Now, she took Glenn back. And we found out that at the end of at the reunion, they slept together because they found out he wasn't the father of that child. But then, you know, I guess they had a couple of good weeks, and then she found out that he was sliding in DMs again, or he was letting people slide into his DMs again. Just overall being inappropriate with people on the internet. So she back living at her mama house, and she told Glenn that she about to get her own place because, you know, until he learned how to treat her, then this is just going to be it. And if he never learns how to treat her, then the relationship, I guess, is a wrap. We also found out that when they did sleep together after the reunion, baby, she made him wear a condom, and he was like, "You making me wear a condom like I'm a trick or something? Like, you know, I might as well just leave $40 on the nightstand." Excuse me, what? Like, I get it that you might feel some kind of way about your wife making you wear a condom. But sir, what did you just what? Like, did you just call your wife a prostitute? But her thing was, yes, I'm not, like, yeah, we back together, you know. Well, at the time they were, but I still feel like you might have been out in them streets thotting and dopping, or thotting and bopping, and until, you know, we can, I guess, take care of the proper medical test, and I can make sure that everybody is good, and until I feel comfortable, then yeah, we can get it in, but we're gonna get it in old school, and you're gonna put on a condom, okay? Child. So that's what we see going on with her, child. Now, so Gucci, let me tell y'all something. So Gucci's husband decided that they haven't been spending a long time together. Enough, you know, quality time. So he was cooking dinner for her when she got home from work, and all he had on was an apron. I think he had on some drawers, you know. He told her he wanted her to go get sexy and come out, and he said that when you come out, my apron should be doing like this. Like, that's how I want you to come out. And she said, what you want? Because whenever I put on the sexy lingerie and I cook dinner and I do all of this, then I'm trying to get something from you. I want a new handbag. I want something. So what is it that you want? So on one hand, he's talking about, ain't this nice? You know, we empty nesters. We can walk around naked if we want to. We can do this. We can do that. Isn't this nice? Isn't this nice? Isn't this nice? And then he literally turns around and says, my mama wanted to move in with us, and I told her she could. That don't even make no sense. First of all, number one, you don't get to just let people move in and you don't have a conversation with your wife. Like, that's just totally ridiculous. But number two, how on one hand you gonna say, isn't this nice that we're living in this, that we're living, and like, that don't even make no sense. I'm sorry, I know I just repeated myself, but anyway, so that's what's going on with them, child. So then we meet up with, what's my girl name? The one that husband played in the NFL. We meet up with her. She's back in town, which tells me that she doesn't live in Jackson full time, that she's really only there to film for this show. That's what I got from that. Now, they did open up their restaurant, so maybe she is flying back and forth, you know, once the restaurant opened, you know, flying back and forth to, you know, check on things periodically. But, of course, she's in town for filming, so they back in that rented house, child. She got the kids with her. Now, her husband had to stay in New York because he's a NFL analyst and he has to be in studio. So he there, and she is stressed out because she said usually when my husband is here, because you know they have 2 babies, she said usually he could take one, I could take the other one, we can tag team, but baby, with him not here, I got both these kids and I'm a little stressed out. We found out that her and So Gucci are really good friends. She said, I never expected that I would be friends with her because, you know, I just thought, how crazy is that for somebody to call themselves Gucci? Like, oh my gosh. But she said, you know, but we've actually become, we've actually become pretty cool. So Gucci comes over and she asks her, have you talked to your girl Tambra? Now remember, her and Tambra went to high school together. They've known each other. She said, look, that woman that I met last season, I don't know her. That is not who I grew up with. That is not the Tambra that I know. Tambra that I know is not a liar. Yet she was proven to be a liar time and time again last season. And that is just not who that's not who I know. Like, I don't know her. You know, that's this person. I don't know this person. But she said, I haven't really talked to her because I don't even know. I don't really have no words for her. Then we find out that Gucci got beef with Latrice, because she said that she felt some kind of way that she was out here showing Latrice all these investment properties, for her warehouse, but Latrice ended up buying the property from another real estate agent, and she felt some kind of way about that. Now, Latrice told her side of the story, and if Latrice's side of the story is true, then I'm with Latrice on this one. Now, Latrice's side of the story was she did find a property through Gucci. She closed the property. Well, she made an offer, because she didn't close. She made an offer on the property. She was told that everything was good, that they had gotten the property, that they were going to close on the property, and then come to find out that because Gucci didn't do something she was supposed to do, I don't know, file some paperwork, send some paperwork back, whatever, she didn't do something she was supposed to do, and Latrice ended up losing the property and not getting the property. And so that's why she went with another realtor, because she was like, at that point, she had already given her notice to where she was already leasing, and she had to make some business decisions. She said, look, Gucci can be mad at me because I made a business decision, but that had nothing to do with our friendship. I had to make a decision for my business. So now Latrice is in a half of the building that she was in before, because her landlord had already rented out half of the storefront that she originally was in, had already rented out half of it to thinking she was going to leave. So now her suite is cut in half, because the building that she ended up buying needs a lot of renovation, and she's got to renovate. She said that's going to take at least a half a year for her to do everything she needs to do for them to really move in. Now, the good news is once they move in, she's got enough space that she can have her retail store downstairs, and she's going to have suites upstairs. We're going to come back to... Well, I'm going to go ahead and finish that out because I don't want to forget. In that same conversation, that's when she was talking to Joshy about, basically not being disrespectful to her husband. Like, I understand how you might feel, but you can't disrespect my husband like that. Like, at the end of the day, he's still my husband. That's my man. I ain't going nowhere. And Joshy told her, well, then look, you tell me all these horrible things. You come in here, you complain about him. You come in here and tell me all these horrible things, and then I'm not supposed to feel no kind of way about it. But again, like I said, Latrice, you've allowed those lines to be blurred, and now Joshy really thinks that he has more of an opinion than he should, or that he has more rights to have an opinion than honestly he should, in my opinion. So then we see Tambra. Now listen, let me tell y'all something. Something's wrong with Tambra. I'm not even being funny. I don't know this woman from a hole in the wall, so I don't want this to come off disrespectful or whatever, but something's not right with her. First of all, in season 1, she wants to have a baby, but she don't really want to have sex with nobody. That's fine. There's a lot of ways nowadays there's a lot of ways to conceive a child, and you don't never have to have sex with nobody. I'm fine with that. I ain't about to judge that. But then in season 2, when you went to go talk to the doctor, you act like you didn't even know that you had, like, girl, your whole, I don't know, it just her whole storyline has been crazy to me. And then of course we know last season we had that whole crazy storyline with Damon. So she ended up moving in with Damon, right? Her and Damon are a couple. They live together, but he never proposed, which is what she said. She never wanted to live with a man because she wanted that ring, and she said she didn't really want to have a baby out of wedlock either. But she, her and Damon used to date, and they got back together, and so, he's the one. Well, now that they've been living together, she said, I never really expected that I would be living with somebody before I actually got married to them. So now she wants to go and get a condo, so that she would have, like, she said, well, you know, he got a man cave, I just want my own space. So he was like, so wait a minute, what? So, like, you want to move out, but we ain't even moved in. Like, you only been living here a couple of months. Like, you really, but you want to go find your own place. So then she starts talking about, well, I never really saw myself living with the man before marriage, and this wasn't what I ever really wanted. Then why you move in with him? Like, girl, nobody made you do it. Nobody made you move in with this man. You didn't have to move in with him. You made a conscious decision to move in with this man. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm sitting here looking at you crazy, because I'm like, you did all of this. You trying to have a baby with him, allegedly. You done moved in with him without the benefit of a proposal, a ring, a date, anything. And now, after living with him only 2 months, now you like, this probably wasn't a good idea. So now you like, I think the mom would make a great husband, but I don't know if he's going to make, I mean, I think he'll make a great father, but I don't know if he's going to make a great husband to me. So they break up with him. So they tell him you want to break up with him, and this isn't a temporary move out. This is a break up. So I don't know. Tambra, something ain't right with her. So then we see Leticia, Leticia meet up with So Gucci and Marie, looking at places, because she's ready to move out of her mom's place. She said, you know, me and Glenn ain't getting back together right now, and I need my own place. I need my own independence, you know. And so she's showing her places, and Marie comes through. We found out Marie got a lot going on, child. She got 20,000 businesses. We didn't really get a lot of personal stuff from her this episode. We just really got that she's, you know, still hustling. You know, So Gucci tells them the story about Latrice and how her and Latrice is beefing. And of course, Marie was like, I told y'all she was a snake. I told y'all she won't ish. Didn't I tell y'all? I told y'all. And Marie asked Leticia, like, are you real about this? Like, is this for real? Because what you can't do is keep going back and forth. Like, you break up with Glenn, you say it's over, you don't want to be with him, and then you sleep with him. Then you move back in, then you move back out. Like, you know, like, you sure? Now, one thing I will say is, ain't nothing like signing a lease. Because at least you sign a lease that's 6 months to a year, that you know, depending on how long you sign a lease for, that you know you can't be playing that back and forth game without it hurting your pockets. Okay? You breaking leases is gonna hurt your pockets. So then I want to make sure we hit boom, 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 boom. Alright, we hit boom, 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 boom. Let's get to this last scene. So we have this last scene between Latrice and Cliff. Latrice was going out to work with Joshie and one of her other friends. They were going out for drinks after work. Cliff shows up. Now, this is one of those they broke the fourth wall type situation. They let us know that they have audio of the conversation before they started filming, because they were mic'd up first before they were able to, I guess, get the camera together. But what we saw was Cliff, aka Zaddy, roll up on Latrice, and he is upset with Latrice. Now, what I'm able to gather between the muffled conversations and Zaddy's accent and, you know, that kind of thing, one, he's upset because she's filming without him. She said, well, he's mad because he felt like I lied to him. Well, girl, did you? Because he said, what I was able to gather from what he said was, well, you told me that I couldn't film. You told me I couldn't be in this scene. And she said, yeah, because this scene was more of a me with my, you know, with my girlfriends. He was like, why? Y'all want to talk about me? Why? Because you want to talk shit about me? And she was like, no, but you just didn't need to be in this scene. So I feel like he wanted to come and she told him no, and then he showed up anyway. So then he was like, so then he was like, well, I don't want you filming with Josh. I don't want you. He's disrespectful. He rude to me, and I don't. You know, you can't film with him. And then he's like, what you mean sneaking off and not telling me where you going? Oh no, he said asking permission. And then they went outside. He was like, take that mic off. I said, take that mic off. You still mic'd up? They can hear me? Take the mic off. So then he takes the mic off. He throws it on the ground. But of course, you know, them shady ass cameramen was still there, and they was giving us the subtitles. But in that conversation, they proceed to argue, and he calls her a bitch. out her name. You know, he pulls on her. She was like, get off of me. Let me say this. Latrice, baby, walk, don't run. Now, I've been saying this from season 1. He's very controlling. He's very insecure. And you have a daddy complex. I'm not saying you do not love this man, but what are your intentions behind the love? Where, why, what, and how? Girl, run, don't walk. Get away from this man. Because if this is what we saw, I can only imagine what we don't see. And I'm not accusing this man of anything, but I am saying that I have concerns that this ain't the first time that he has called you out your name and been aggressive with you. Now I'm gonna leave it at that. Now y'all put the comments what y'all think. You agree, you disagree? Am I putting 20 on 10, or did y'all see what I saw? Let me know. Put it in the comments. I will talk to y'all later. That was the end of the episode. They said to be continued. Peace.